Pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. This is February 9th. If you have any questions, business comments during these proceedings, come up to the microphone here or there and give us your name, address, and state your business with this body. I'll ask for the roll call.
Cedar.
Here.
Foley.
Here.
Kinsfater.
Here.
Krebs. Cuffa.
Here.
Laporte.
Here.
McCartney.
Here.
Member Krebs called in with medical reasons for not attending tonight.
Move to approve her absence.
Support.
All right, motion made, supported to excuse Member Krebs from tonight's proceedings. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go to number 4, consent agenda, City Council minutes of January 19th, 2015, special and regular meetings, recommendation approved.
So moved. Support.
Motion's made, support, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go to 5, presentations. Presentation of certificates for 2000 St. Clair Poet Laureate and Bootlegger Ballader. Mr. Lockwood.
Mayor and Council, thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce St. Clair's 2015 Poet Laureate. Every year, we give a challenge to the poets and the songwriters in the St. Clair area to come up with a poem or a song that tells the story of the legend. And each year we go through and the history of St. Clair and find a story. This year's story came from Dorothy Mitz, and for those of you who lived in St. Clair for a long time, she used to write a column for the Port Huron Times called Where the Wild Goose Flies. And she tells a story of Andrew Westbrook and his sons. We don't know exactly when this took place, but Mr. Westbrook was a farmer in China Township, St. Clair at that time, I believe, and had some horses stolen. His two sons, Ebenezer and William, told Dad that they would go after and retrieve the horses. And they took the horses, they followed the trail to Detroit and then west to outside the Michigan border. When they caught up with the horses, the thieves had left them, and they found the horses. Unfortunately, the trip took a lot longer than the two of them expected, and they were broke. So they're trying to figure out how they were going to get back. Ebenezer, who had a background in Bible studies, said, you know what, every time we get to a hamlet, I'm going to preach the Bible and pass the plate. And William said, you know, I'm really good with cards, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a card game and gamble. Now, Dorothy doesn't tell us much of the story other than the fact that the two boys returned to home with the horses and more money they started with. So the challenge to the writers was tell the story how the boys got home. Now, I will tell you just a little follow-up on this is that Susan Westbrook France is a descendant of Andrew Westbrook, and she is a member of the St. Clair Historical Society, and she told us these facts. She said, you know, Ebenezer was known as a lay Methodist minister, and he had a reputation for giving some pretty fiery speeches. And she said, William, in the Port Huron census of 1860, she found his occupation listed as gamester, and she always wondered what a gamester was. And she also told us the family farm was just south of Record Road. The Record family owned the property, which is now called Record Road. And if you're familiar with the brick one-room schoolhouse on Meisner Road, Andrew deeded the property to the school district for that schoolhouse. So this year's winner, who's been here before, is Bill Brose, and Bill's going to do his story on stolen stallions. It's all yours.
Thanks, Dan. As he said, this is called Stolen Stallions. Stable doors flung open wide, 4 stalls found empty inside, the prize stallions unlawfully taken. Put your differences aside, mount your horses and ride. To Andrew's orders, the boys were awakened. The boys were half-brothers, same dad, different mothers, but as different as south is from north. So as they chased the thieves west, the feuding never did rest. Rival sons would go back and forth. I'm Dad's favorite, he likes me the most. I'm the good son, Ebenezer would boast. I've studied the ministry and do what is right, and don't stay out drinking and gambling all night. No, I'm Dad's favorite, came William's reply, 'cause I'm a carefree and fun-loving guy. It's not really gambling since I usually win. Besides, your hypocrisy is also a sin. All day they would fight from morning till night, but neither would be first to turn round. Days turned to weeks, saddle sores on their cheeks, but neither would let their dad down. Nearly 400 miles in a town west of Niles, the hijacked horses were finally found. The thieves got away, but the steed were okay, so the boys were now homeward bound. But their heroic chase to this faraway place took much longer than they had thought. To house and to feed themselves and their steed exhausted the cash they had brought. I have an idea, Ebenezer then said. I'll preach my way home to keep myself fed. As for his plan, card games he would play. For lodging, William's winnings should easily pay. To those who would hear Ebenezer's sermon severe, fire and brimstone did sinners await. In guilt and in fear, with their conscience to clear, dropped in coins as he passed round the plate. Yet for William it went worse, his winning like a curse, 'cause the higher he would grow his chip stack, the more drinks he would buy, shots of whiskey and rye. With each step forward, he'd take 2 steps back. Forced to beg after more days of the same. I swear to you, brother, as William is my name, I'll pay back every penny, I repeat, to borrow a little something for a little something good to eat. Expecting his brother's ridicule, convicting him as a drunken fool, so you can imagine old William's surprise. Sure, you're my brother, we take care of each other, came Ebenezer's enlightened replies. With each day new, his wisdom grew. Forgiveness, Ebenezer now preached. Renewed and inspired by his words, they admired, for their wallets congregations now reached. As the basket was passed, a small fortune amassed, and each town traveled the very same thing. There'd be cash and some change, but what always was strange were the large money rolls wrapped in red string. His praise of the Lord had brought great reward, so he asked William, do you need a hand? You've been really kind, but now I'm doing just fine. On my own feet, I learned how to stand. To their dad's loud cheers and a few proud tears, the horses and boys made it back. Neither brother did lag in emptying his bag, but William was the last to unpack. As he removed the last thing, a ball of red string, Ebenezer laughed and asked why. He said, you're my brother, we take care of each other, came William's appreciative reply. Later that night, by the fireplace light, after the boys had went into town, Andrew would tell of his scheme that worked well to his friends who all gathered round. I hired those thieves to take the horses west. It was all just part of my plan. You see, each of my sons left here a boy, but returned a responsible man. So who is your favorite child? His friends asked as they smiled, and Andrew rather quickly confessed. Those 2 sons of mine, a pain in the behind. I like my daughter the best. Thank you.
Well done, Bill. Every year, you just do a great job. You always remember all those words. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And our bootlegger Ballader is mic'd out. Mike wrote a song called The Chase. Mike has been here before. In fact, he and his wife were the bootlegger Ballader the first year we did this. And believe it or not, this is the 6th year. Mike, thank you.
The really amazing thing about this is I think we had 6 or 7 poets, I can't remember. There was quite a few, and 3 songwriters, you know, so we had like 10 people that took this legend and ran with it. And they were all completely different, every one of them. They were all different. And mine is like polar opposite of Bill's. And mine, the half-brothers are best friends. And when I first thought about this song, I thought about me and my brother. And then the next thing I thought about was the Dukes of Hazzard. So it's kind of like that. They're just really good friends, and they like to go out and raise a little hell once in a while. That's what they do. It's called The Chase.
Me and my brother riding, we did go. You know, we would have chased down bastards all the way to Mexico. Nothing but horse thieves about as low can be. They never will outride us, my brother and me. Me and my brother are twin sons of different mothers. Ain't no doubt our daddy's blood runs strong throughout our veins. We lost a couple battles, got bruised up along the way. But we always go down swinging, my brother and me. If we've been down this road 1,000 times, still don't know where it goes. Always riding side by side along the way. We keep running after something I guess we won't ever see. We never will give up the chase, my brother and me. Me and my brother caught them up down near Farwell. Oh, we couldn't bring them back, so we just sent them straight to hell. Told the sheriff that they got away as far as we could see. We just did what needed doing, my brother and me. My brother, we set out to go back home, but our pockets were empty, all our money was gone. We'd spent every single dollar being wild and being free. I guess we'll figure something out, my brother and me. 'Cause we've been down this road 1,000 times, we still don't know where it goes. Always riding side by side along the way. We keep running after something I guess we won't ever see. We never will give up the chase, my brother and me.
gambling, it was my brother's stock and trade. There's a mark born every minute, that's what P.T. Barnum said. When they gave us all their money, we'd go down on bended knee, and we'd preach the gospel to that crowd, my brother and me. Me and my brother made it back to old St. Clair, with our daddy's horses all in line, our heads held in the air. The town came out to greet us and the truth was plain to see. We never did give up the chase, my brother and me. 'Cause we've been down this road 1,000 times and still don't know where it goes. Always riding side by side along the way. We keep running after something I guess we won't ever see. We never will give up the chase, my brother and me. Yeah, we've been down this road 1,000 times. We don't care where it goes. We're just riding side by side along the way. We're just running after something I guess we won't ever see. We never will give up the chase, my brother and me.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Bill. I do have a couple of certificates here for Mike and Bill. If you guys want to step up here, be honored to hand those to you. Congratulations. Bill, good job. Appreciate it. Every time. It's always a pleasure.
Good job, Bill.
Mike,
Thank you very much.
congratulations. Thank you.
Good job, Mike.
Good job.
We are really fortunate in St. Clair. It's a little town, but we have a lot of talented people out there, you know? Good job. Thank you, Dan. Oh, there you went. Okay. All right. I'll actually call Mr. Lockwood back up in a second. We're going to go to number 6, ordinances resolutions. A is the resolution to conduct a historic district study.
The city's Historical Study Commission has identified 2 districts in the city that we would like to start our study on, and we submitted those districts to the council for approval. There's not much else to say other than the fact that we've identified the districts. The first district, most of you probably won't be surprised, is the St. Clair Inn property. It consists of 7 parcels. And then the other district is the St. Clair Community Building, and it consists of the whole block that makes up the community building.
I would move to approve the resolution.
I'll support.
All right, the motion's made, supported. Is there any questions, concerns, comments? Call the roll, please.
Foley,
Yes.
Kinsfater,
Yes.
Cuffa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney.
Yes.
Cedar,
Yes.
passed, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Dan. Will to be Resolution 1502 for lot combine 1090 North Riverside Avenue.
I'll take that, Your Honor. In your packets is a resolution for the lot combine at 1090 North Riverside Ave. Mr. Wood owns both parcels. They are both zoned R1 single family, and the taxes are current.
So move. I'll support.
All right, motion's made and supported. Is there any questions?
I'm just trying to picture this on the map. The address is getting bigger as they go north. Is this where we are here?
I believe they do.
On the north, on the right at the city limits, it looks like? Or is it before the city limits? I guess I'm asking.
It's a little private drive there, right, from North Riverside. So it'd be, is it heading up the hill, D? You familiar with that? No. It's the one heading up the hill?
Oh, so this is north of the inn, just north of the inn.
No, this is
Close to the
further
city
up.
limits.
Close to the city
Oh,
limit?
it's up by him.
Yeah, I'm at 982, so
982?
it's beyond me.
Where's the private drive then? I have it mixed up with the other.
Walker's house? Up by the old Walker house?
No, it's non-buildable, I believe. 1090.
I was gonna say, it's probably right there at the city limits.
Okay, I just wasn't sure what we were talking about.
I believe it's a non-buildable next to him, and he does own both.
Just the address, and I just wanted to see
The
how
name on the
far.
property is Woods. Wood, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
I know the driveway goes past one resident to get to his residence,
Correct.
if I'm not mistaken. And it goes down a hill.
Yep.
All right, call the roll, please.
Kinsfater,
Yes.
Cuffa,
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney.
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Cedar,
Yes.
adopted, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. We'll go to C, Resolution 1503 to recommend a microbrewer license.
Okay. I'll take that, and then Mr. Blair may, if you have any questions, he may be able to help as well. Or Chief Jefferson's here as well. Let's see, War Water LLC has applied for microbrewery license at 201 North Riverside. It's Block C, Unit C12, which is in the St. Clair Plaza. If granted, the applicant would be in a position to continue with the approvals that are needed with the Michigan Liquor Control. And the County Health Department would also need some approvals, as well as anything that might be required for the building, from the building department here at the city. War Water LLC intends to bring a brewery facility to the city. The plan is to start with a nano brewing facility, so it'd be a smaller unit, which it is.
If I may, the drawings that we're looking at are not real clear. Which is Block C, D? I don't,
Where
the Swart Building's Block C? Okay. I would move to approve the resolution.
Support.
all right, the motion's made and supported. Is there any questions? Call the roll, please.
Cuffa.
Yes.
Laporte,
Yes.
McCartney,
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Kinsfater.
Yes.
Cedar,
Yes.
adopted, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And Chris did want to be here tonight, but he had some medical problems to deal with. We'll go to 7 reports of administration. Mr. Booth?
I have 2 items this evening, Your Honor. First of all, I'd like to give an update on the M29 Bridge project. The city's police chief, Rick Jefferson, worked with, I think it's Severance Electric, to extend the green light at Kearney and Fredmore. That's done. MDOT has added additional signage to assist eastbound traffic on Fredmore. I believe they also have a lit sign out there now. They didn't have that before. They're still working, unfortunately, on the light at the M29 in Clinton. Would like that to be a flasher. It's not yet, and I guess that's kind of a little bit of a slower process for them. So that's it on the M29 bridge project. Also want to let council know that starting tomorrow, the city's 2013-14 audit will start. It'll run for a period of probably not more than 2 weeks. Again, just FYI there. That's all I have, Your Honor.
I'd like to question on the M20, on the extension of the light for Kearney and Fredmore Highway. Has there been any more talk about a left-hand turn arrow at all?
They're supposed to get an estimate to me. I talked to Mr. Booth. The light that's extended now for the green light would be almost the same thing, only you would stop the westbound traffic. Severance stated that they would get a written estimate and get it to me. So
It has helped a lot. The extended light
many people that
helped a lot.
appreciate that. But at the very least, I think we should keep that light that way.
Forever and a day.
Yes.
There's a lot of traffic.
And they did say, Rick, that there was another port, or whatever you may want to call it. You could add a left hand, it's just how much.
There's enough ports on there that they could put another left-hand turn signal we want, and I told them, would you please give me some estimates I can take back to the council, and at the time you make a decision. But in the meantime, we do have.
Well, what was the thought about having a left turn signal on this, going at southbound Kearney onto Fredmore Highway? What was the thought process there?
The only thing I can remember is because you have the trucks coming out of the gas terminal back.
No, they're going the other way.
Yeah,
Going,
but what will happen is the traffic that's going that way, it's green light, they feel that the cars there are waiting for that light to turn green for them, they can't turn in front of it, so they automatically let the green arrow. And then on the other side of Fredmore Highway, those are time sensitive, so
Right.
their wheels gotta be up onto that platform, that automatically shuts everybody else off red, lets them turn left.
does everybody know coming into town on Fairmont Highway that M29's open at Clinton and I mean, you don't have to go Kearney Drive all the way out to wherever they need to go, that they
Well,
can,
they're going, our problem, their part right now at 29 Clinton is you have a red light and you can only go left anyways.
Right.
Traffic is backing up past the other side of 3rd Street, which I'm hoping that they'll.
but I mean, there's an inordinate amount of traffic on Kearney Drive now, and I think people think M29's closed as well.
Yeah, there's no more speed on that.
Right,
now.
no. Thanks, that's all I have.
All right, Mr. Downey, do you have anything?
I have
tonight?
nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Any city departments tonight? Actually, I have an issue coming from our code enforcement officer. If you haven't met Katie Stepp yet, this is her over here on the left, if you want to wave, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
This is our code enforcement officer, and this week, actually, we talked a little bit, and Katie really took the lead on this, and she asked if I read this tonight, so here it comes to you guys. It's a great thing. City staff realizes that many senior citizens or people with physical disabilities are unable to remove snow from city sidewalks near their properties. The city of St. Clair will begin a complimentary snow removal assistance program this season. The snow removal is for city sidewalks only. To participate as a volunteer, please complete and return the snow removal volunteer application and snow removal volunteer waiver available on our website, or pick them up at City Hall. This is a great opportunity for athletic or church group students who need community service hours and those community members who simply want to do a good deed. If you or someone you know is in need of assistance, please complete and return their snow removal assistance application available on our website, resources, forms. Pick them up at City Hall. Call 329-7121 to make the request. Volunteers will be contacted with specific information of the responsibilities. Thank you for your community service towards the safety of the St. Clair residents. Katie, do you want to add anything to that? Anybody have any questions for Katie?
I think it's a good idea.
Great idea. Did you contact the St. Clair High School and the Honor Society and all that? Yeah. They're on board? Good. Good job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Can I ask her a question?
Sure.
You're the code enforcement officer? Do we enforce when residents don't shovel? Because, I mean, there's residents that I drive by that never shovel. I mean, do we call you? Is that how this happens? Because, it's a very, very important key intersection where I think since this individual has moved into the house, they just don't shovel, and I'm sure you guys all drive by places that don't shovel. I mean, if we're enforcing it, why do people continue not to shovel, I guess? I mean, the police drive around town all day long. I work out of town. I only drive in and out when I leave and come home. I mean, call you up is the best thing to do? I'm not putting you on the spot here. I'm just asking what can be done, because year after year after year, the same people don't shovel. And I mean, seriously, is it that? I'd love to have a sidewalk in front of my house just so I could shovel it.
I have a driveway.
Well, I already got one of them, but I don't have a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, doesn't it drive you guys crazy? I mean, it does me.
We talked about that last year, that one of the biggest pet peeves is the people who push their snow out into the street.
Yeah.
Or don't shovel, and I don't know who enforces that. I had to call Rick on Leaves one time because they were in the middle of, Vine Street was down to one lane for a couple blocks. But I'm glad that you're on board, because I hear a bunch of good things about you. But the things that bother Tom bother me as well. That the people who don't shovel and the ones that push everything out in the street and let someone else deal with it. Those things, it would take maybe one code violation ticket to stop it, and then people would talk about it.
So just contact you at City Hall, right?
Yes.
And your name is Katie?
Katie Stepp.
Last name again?
Step.
Stepp, S-T-E-P-P.
Okay.
I am being proactive too if I'm seeing it, and of course I'm welcome any call. If anyone has
Cool.
an issue, they can call me. And I've sent out many letters to people already.
How you doing with the enforcement of the trash hoppers around town? That we've done all the work with the fencing and the gates, and I'm seeing many of those overflowing with the lids up out and trash all over the place. Are you finding a lot of that going on?
Yeah, I saw it today in the review.
Both ends, both north and south end.
Yeah. You know, we haven't discussed that one too much, but more enforcing, you know, got some to actually close theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, trying to get them to keep doors closed. But by the time the call is made and the enforcement happens, usually it's kind of taken care of.
Oh, they come and pick up the garbage and gone, right.
So,
Excuse me, was that just this last week, or is it?
It's been, I've noticed it quite a bit in some of the areas that trash hoppers are now, it seems like they're just, gates are open and the lids are left up and there's trash all over the place, and it was a good thought to have it all done and have the fences and the gates done, but I mean, we just need to follow up, make sure they're being taken care of. I know winter weather has a lot to do with
I just thought
accessibility.
the last week, Tom, maybe with the delay of one day, maybe
Yeah,
it.
no, it was more, it's been more than that, but anyway, okay.
Thank you, Katie. All right, we'll go to D. Any authorities, boards, commissions, committee chairs, or council reps have anything tonight? All right. Well, number 8, unfinished business, discussion on crack sealing equipment. Mr. Booth, you want to touch on that a little bit?
I'm going to repeat from our special session. We talked about it, but kind of go at it the same zest, I guess. Again, I guess last year the city borrowed a crack seal machine from the city of Marysville in an attempt to start a street maintenance program. So I guess you could say we now have a street maintenance program at least started. It's not completed yet. Recently, the city's building inspector, Mr. Boyer, contacted one of 3 manufacturers and obtained pricing for a new machine. Leasing information was also obtained from the supplier. The new machine was quoted at a price of $48,000. At an upcoming council meeting, I'll actually do a comparison of lease versus purchase and bring that back to council for consideration. It's kind of all I have at this point. Any questions on?
Would the money to fund that, would that come out of our equipment pool?
It would come from the equipment pool.
And what is that balance now running?
Less than $1 million.
Okay. So would it be?
And it would be sufficient, so I guess I don't
It
want
would
to
be
give you.
sufficient to cover the
Yes.
crack sealer. So would it be in our best interest to look at getting, I know Mr. Boyer said that if he was to buy one, it'd be the one that you had, the presentation that you got. But there's 2 other manufacturers that, if I understand.
And he actually sold one of the other ones, said he wouldn't sell it.
Okay.
Actually, what I did is I was having trouble because when I was online, it kept pushing me to use it. Well, finally, these Craftco are the companies out of Arizona, so I called there and I got a hold of the rep for this area. And what he had told me was they had a representative that distributes for them in Michigan. He's out of Akron, Ohio. And he says, I think he's in Michigan this week. So I called him and he met with us that day.
That day,
right?
yeah.
He was in Westland. He had to be at Grayling the next morning. So he stopped in. And so basically the one that he is the real distributor for, he said he would sell.
What's the waiting, is there a waiting list for these? Is there like a 6-week build?
Probably not. I mean, he could work something out. And he did say, if we call him, he'll bring one up here and leave it for a couple of weeks so you guys can all look at it.
So by next meeting, we'll have a pretty good idea what it's gonna do, what the cost is, and.
It's next Monday, so maybe the following, but
Okay.
yes.
But in
If I didn't have an audit,
but in
I'd
time,
say
if we
yes.
wanted to take action, we'd have one by spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I don't think there's long order time. He didn't seem to
The thing
indicate
that
that.
he did say about the rental, okay, if you bought the product from him, you could use the crack fill for free. But you have to use it. And that's when I was telling you, he said you should be able to go through a pallet a day. Now, if you don't do that, you better have a reason why you didn't do it. It better have rained for 3
Right,
days.
right.
So, I mean, the bad thing is, you know, if you own your own, you can schedule, and then if something happens, you've gotta not be able to do it for 2 days or something, you know?
Right.
It's gonna be there when you're ready.
I think it's in our best interest to own one.
For $48,000, we got $1 million almost.
Yeah.
I'd buy two.
Well, we don't have the crew to run to, that's the unfortunate thing.
Does this machine have to be like warmed up in the morning so many hours before they?
What did he say, 20 minutes, 40 minutes?
I think it's slightly less than an hour, and the other unit, I think, was
It was pretty fast.
2 to 3.
It was a lot, Brent said it was a lot faster heat time than the one they had from America. But, see, if you start it up and then you go out and you start blowing fast, you know, time you're ready to go, you have product ready to.
All right. All right, thank you. Good luck on that, Mr. Booth. Go to new business. A, approve application for haul route permit.
Okay, so I'll take that. Tonight, I'm asking for council's approval to apply for a road haul permit for St. Clair Highway and Bree Road. The permit will allow Beaver Lumber and Rivers Bend Marina to use said roads during the spring. If granted, I'll move forward to secure the permit with any required restrictions that may be needed or required from St. Clair, the Road Commission.
I'd move to approve.
Support.
All right, motion made, support. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Go to B, approved for permit of East China Supporters Fund Chili Heart 5K Run. Chief?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm in receipt for request for approval for a special events permit. The East China School Foundation has requested permission to hold a 5K race on Saturday, February 21st from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the bike paths that come from the St. Clair Middle School in the city through the Highlands and back out to the middle school. They have all the necessary documents and have been received in compliance with the city ordinance. I respectfully recommend approval for this event.
Motion to approve.
Support.
All right, motion made, support. Anything, comments, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Go to see approve appointments 2015 boards and commissions members. I do have some more appointments to make tonight with your approval and endorsement. On the Board of Review, I'd like to appoint Ken Maddox for a one-year term to expire December 31st, 2017. On the Building Commission, appoint Dee Bollier for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2017. On the Downtown Development Authority, Mitch Kufa is council rep for a 1-year term to expire December 31st, 2015. On the Harbor Commission, Janie Goyette and James Harkin for 3-year terms to expire December 31st, 2017. Planning Maintenance Board of Appeals, Dee Boyer, Code Official, 1-year term to expire December 31st, 2015. Urban Griefor and Chad Muldermans for 3-year terms to expire December 31st, 2017. And Chris Fisher for a 2-year term to expire December 31st, 2016.
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll support.
Motion made and supported. Questions?
Yeah, is all of these residents of the city of St. Clair? All of them are? Every applicant?
No.
Resident?
I'm aware of one that is not a resident.
Which one?
On the Harbor Commission, Mrs. Goyette.
Is this a new member or is this a reappointment?
New.
Be
New
new.
application.
You had two people didn't resign. You had Mr. Lockwood and Paul Leidy, and I thought there was another one.
Well, I would like, I mean, the new apps, I wish we'd have presented those separately and not grouped them into a reappointment. Everyone, you know my feeling about non-residents being appointed to boards. I don't think we give enough time and do enough advertising to get residents on some of these commissions. With that being said, that's the only concerns I have about the motion.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes, sir. Yep. I received this recommendation from the committee chair of the Harbor Commission, and when I send out, and we do advertise quite a bit for boards and commissions, I weigh heavily on what comes back from the committee chair, because those people know their committees, they know what's going on in their particular area, if it's the Golf Commission, the Planning Commission, Recreation. And I weigh heavily on their recommendation because they know the chemistry and what works. And that is why this was, if this is in your notes or not, we received a signed document requesting the residency restriction be waived by former Mayor Kuhn and Dan McCartney, who's the committee chair, and that is why this appointment is being made, or asked to be made. Anybody else?
Your Honor, I might point out too, there's many times that some of the boards of the commissions go without people because we won't take residents. We had that big discussion with beautification, and sorry Jane isn't here, but I've been on them a few times that some of the boards and commissions are hard, and to fill, and I understand this woman has been down there and done volunteer work at the harbor.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Can we vote on this, the new one separately?
On the,
Can we just vote on the reappointments and the new member? Can we vote on that separately?
if,
I think there'd have to be a motion made to amend the motion that's on the floor.
I would move to make that motion to approve the reappointments and to hold separately the new applications.
I'll support that.
Annette, do you know which ones are they all reappointments and there's only one new?
No, there was a couple.
There are quite a
Let me
few.
see. Building was reappointment, DDA was reappointment. Both the harbors are
New.
new, and Planning Maintenance Board of Appeals is new.
And Board of Review is new, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yep, at the top, yes.
Okay. So the original motion that was made to approve these, do we have to vote on that first?
No, the vote will be on the amendment to that motion, which would be just for the new positions. Or excuse me, just for the
Reappointments
reappointments,
first.
rather. Yes,
Right, so motion's on the floor to just vote on the reappointments right now, and that motion's been made and supported?
yes.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we can have a separate motion for the news.
Now we're back to a vote only on the reappointments, and then there can be another motion made for the new appointments.
So now we're still voting on the reappointments?
Yes.
Okay.
I make a
Motion-
motion to approve the reappointments
I'll
of
support the
All right, the
reappointments.
motion's been made to approve the reappointments. The motion's been supported. Is there any questions on that? All right, let's take the roll on that.
So the motion on the floor is to support the reappointments only.
Yes.
Cuffa,
Yes.
Laporte,
yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Passed, Your Honor.
All right. Now we can reintroduce a new motion to approve the news.
Yes.
Do we do those individually for each board?
I think it's up to the
Whoever makes
person
the
making the
motion.
motion.
Okay.
Well, I think the only one in question is the harbor.
The non-resident.
All the rest are residents.
The rest are residents. So, do we make a motion to approve?
The residents.
Resident.
Well,
I would make a motion to approve the applications for commissions for those who have turned in that are residents of the city of St. Clair.
I'll support that.
All right, the motion's made and supported for residents for new appointments to boards and commissions. This is just residents for new appointments. Any questions? Let's call the roll on that.
Laporte,
yes.
McCartney?
Yes.
Foley,
Yes.
Kinsfater?
Yes.
Cuffa,
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right. So now we can just deal with the Goyette situation.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now, so now we're just looking at the One Harbor Commission non-resident.
I'd make a motion to approve as presented.
I'll support that.
All right, the motion's been made and supported for the non-resident waiving the residency requirement.
Yes.
All right, is there any questions about that? All right, we will call the roll on that also.
Kinsfater?
No.
Cuffa?
Yes.
Laporte?
Yes.
McCartney?
No.
Foley,
Yes.
Cedar?
Yes.
Carried, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay, we will go to claims and accounts, January 23rd and January 30th, 2015.
Hearing no questions, Your Honor, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Support.
All right, motion made, supported, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll go to number 11, public questions and public comments. Anybody have anything tonight? All right, we'll go to number 12, mayor and council members' comments and announcements.
Yes, Your Honor, we have salmon steaks coming up in 2 weeks, right, Chief? No, not salmon steak, polar plunge.
Sheesh, I was gonna say.
It had to do with water.
How did you do that?
I figured I had to get my application in for that. Do we know?
They're going up and they're going to try everything possible to open a path for you to be able to leave from your establishment over there back.
Okay.
Depending on whether so they can keep going. If the bridge happens to be up in the stand, they're going to do everything possible to keep the bridge down to that.
Put a rope.
River's probably froze, eh?
River's full,
A
but
lot of ice out there today.
still wants to keep the liability of walking across that.
Let's get a waiver signed and everything.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I forgot to ask about our new bushes we're planting. Who's gonna replace them? Down by the clock. Once they got buried in the snow.
Who's plowing snow down there on top of our bushes?
Probably the service.
Hmm.
Who's gonna replace them?
Yeah, they buried a tree in my parking lot too. And that was the people working on the bridge.
I think to answer your question, Mr. Kleeman, we'll see in the spring if they're damaged or not and go from there.
Why would anybody get buried? That's my question.
Moving snow, and my guess is it didn't see him on the other side. I don't know. We'd have to ask him.
I'd like to know the answer if you can find out. It's city property, right? Where they're at? With bushes on city property?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'd like to recognize the passing of Dan Westrick, who sat on the Golf Commission. He's going to be missed.
Thank you. Thank you, Butch.
Hearing nothing else, Your Honor, make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Keep trying to keep your sidewalks clear. Thanks for coming. Be careful.
See you, Tom.
See you, buddy.